So welcome back to another video. This is TeamOverclocked, and today we're gonna be going over the top 5 best graphics cards for 2017. Now, if you're in the market for a new GPU, this is the perfect place to be, and I'll be going over a variety of deals across a few different budgets. So let's get right into it. To start it off, we have the EVGA GTX 1050 Superclock Edition for only $110. This is clocked at 1.53 GHz, has 2 GB of GDDR5 VRAM, and it uses 75 watts of power. Now this power draw is perfect since it does not need any external cables, and it'll be powered straight from the motherboard, which is the main point from NVidia when designing this card, and that's just one less thing to mess up with when building this PC. This has a beefier heatsink than most 1050s, so overclocking at temperatures should be a pretty big breeze. And it is a great GPU for 1080p nonetheless, at medium to high settings and all the latest AAA titles, and all around, this is a great package for a GPU for $110. Next up, we have the XFX RX 470 for $170 on Amazon, and it comes with a $20 mail-in rebate, knocking it down to $150, which is a great deal for a 470. This specific model is clocked at 1.23 GHz, has 4 GB of GDDR5 VRAM, and uses 120 watts. XFX has a cool feature on this card, which lets you swap out the fans, which is cool for customization, and it's cooler as well, should be great for keeping temps low with its dual fan design and relatively big heatsink for what a 470 is. This should be having the power to push games at 1080p max settings at very playable frame rates, which is a great place to be in modern PC gaming. Next up, we have the RX 480 from PowerColor, which is $195 on Newegg, and it comes with a $20 mail-in rebate, knocking it down to $175. This specific model is clocked at 1.27 GHz, has 4 GB of GDDR5 VRAM, and a TDP of 150 watts. The cooler on this is not the best, but it is better than the stock one, so that is a plus. This is going to be great for gaming at 1080p max settings, especially with that 4 GB frame buffer, and in the majority of titles, you could dabble in some late 1440p as well, although I would recommend stepping it up to a 8 GB model, but that'll be a little too expensive for these deals. But this is still nonetheless a great card for 1080p gaming, and I'd highly recommend you buy it if you're in this price range. Next up, we have the XFX Fury X. That's a lot of X's, for $320. This is clocked at 1.05 GHz, has 4 GB of AMD's high bandwidth memory, which is a class higher than GDDR5X, so this is some pretty high quality memory, and along with that, it has a pretty high TDP of 275 watts. Besides the high power usage, this is still a great GPU that will be on the heels of most 1070s for around $100 less when it comes to gaming. You shouldn't worry about temperatures with this card because it has a built-in AIO liquid cooler, so you don't have to do any modding to it, and you already have a liquid loop on it, which is great for keeping low temperatures, which is especially important with a high power draw card like this. This will be great for gaming at 1440p max settings at very playable frame rates, and it's also great for VR gaming as well. Speaking of 1070s, we have the Gigabyte GTX 1070 as our next graphics card on this list, and this is at $380 on Amazon right now, and it has $20 in mail-in rebates attached to it, knocking it down to $360. This is probably one of the lowest I've seen for a brand new 1070 from a manufacturer or distributor like Amazon. Now this is clocked at 1.77 gigahertz, which is pretty high. It has 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 VRAM and a TDP of 180 watts. This is a great price for a 1070, although this is one of the lower and more stock-oriented ones. It's still a great card nonetheless. With this card, you should be able to play most games at 1440p max settings at around 60 FPS, and you can easily play any VR headset on this as well. So those are some amazing deals. I'd highly recommend you guys pick some of these up, especially for the RX 480 and the Fury X, which are some pretty good cards for the prices I mentioned today. So yeah guys, that's all for today. If you liked the video, please overclock the like button. If you didn't like it, please dislike this video and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.